Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Reading. Today I will be reading SCP-4475, So Long, and Thanks for All the Milk. Containment Class Keter, Project Galaxius. Threat Level, Undetermined. SCP-4475 is a Class 3 Daphic bovine entity with a body length of 40 kilometers. Presently located in extrasolar space. SCP-4475 possesses 25 pairs of ungulate forelimbs, ranging from 15 to 40 kilometers in length, and a single large udder of variable diameter with 49 lengthy teats. Mapping initiatives have detected a large external bladder and 5 powerful sphincters located at the rear of its body. Within the bladder, a complex metabolic process produces biochemical propellant. This propellant is expelled through one of its 5 sphincters. Based on this anatomical configuration, Foundation-employed aerospace engineers estimate that velocities upwards of 8,000 meters a second, 28,000 kilometers an hour, can be achieved in the vacuum of space. Collected thermic gay weight and telemetry data have determined that SCP-4475 is presently located at a distance of 1,344 light-years, plus or minus 20 light-years, from Earth. SCP-4475 is in orbit around the Trapezium Cluster, a system of 5 stars orbiting an unregistered supermassive gravitational anomaly. Despite the high level of paratechnology required to directly observe SCP-4475, the Foundation and Global Occult Coalition each became aware of its existence independently. Starting in 2009, at least 5,900 different persons on Earth have undergone physical teleportation into the interior of SCP-4475's mammary glands. Though random in nature, both first-hand eyewitnesses' accounts and audiovisual recordings from dairy ranchers corroborate the existence of a complex ritual, designated SCP-4475-1, capable of triggering the phenomena. The following process, as compiled by abducted dairy ranchers for scientific study, is a baseline for teleportation via -1. 1. Select and secure a cow. 2. Vocalize praise for its existence. 3. Approach the selected cow at a 55-degree angle in the direction of its posterior. 4. Lubricate its 2 rear quarters, preferably with udder cream. 5. Pull on each teat 5 times. Following the ritual, immediate disappearance and reemergence inside SCP-4475's udder has occurred in all cases. Addendum 4475-2. Observed SCP-4475-1 events. A log of notable -1 occurrences is as follows. Read in order of name, location, and description of return. Dennis Miller, Wisconsin, USA. Several weeks after his disappearance, the subject reappeared in his pickup truck. In a trance, the subject siphoned gasoline from the vehicle, consuming 4 liters before discovery. Medical personnel found a 44-kilogram malignant tumor growth on the back of his cranium filled with curdled milk, skin, and gray matter. Subject expired from a fatal brain aneurysm. Mary McGill, Ontario, Canada. Filed as an unsolved missing persons case, the subject reappeared several years after her disappearance and 8 kilometers away from her farm near Highway 400. A truck driver discovered and reported the subject's mutilated cadaver, speculating that it was necrotic deer remains. An autopsy found a thick layer of blue cheese in the stomach and esophagus. Cause of death was terminal dehydration. Dado Kovacic, Lapland, Finland. The subject was selected as a participant for preliminary experimentation trials. 2 days after undergoing the ritual, they reappeared in the Tornio River. After traveling downstream approximately 600 meters, Field agents reacquired them at a private fishery. They had undergone extensive physical mutation, possessing 3 sets of ungulate limbs and the external anatomy and size of a mature bull Bos taurus. Upon recovery, they repeatedly expressed the desire to return and became enraged when detained, at which point they attacked. They pinned an agent to a wall, causing extensive spinal and rib cage damage before being terminated. Rameshwara, Punya, Meghalaya, India. Several months after undergoing the ritual in Foundation custody, the subject reappeared inside a barn at a Foundation-owned farm property. Field agents acquired the subject and noted that they were severely dehydrated and delirious, having drunk raw milk from several cows and goats. Subject described their time inside SCP-4475 as a blend of so many different cheese scents. After recovering, the subject later manifested a lactokinetic ability, the psychic capability to manipulate dairy products. Due to their compliance, Project Galaxius has granted them Class E personnel status. In all observed -1 cases, subjects lose their memory of the scenario within 12 hours of returning, suggesting a latent amnestic property of SCP-4475 milk secretions. Most surviving persons having undergone -1 are later diagnosed with degenerative neurological disorders. Identified diagnoses include brain cancer, dementia, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, and brain death after the spinal fluid transforms into milk. All diagnosed persons have experienced loss of life anywhere from 3 weeks to 10 years after diagnosis. Addendum 4475 3. Updates. 1. May 12, 2033. Osteoporosis rates have increased by 10%. The remaining citizens of India have reported astronomical objects being less visible to the naked eye. Recent -1 test results have trended towards increasing abnormalities. As such, persons returning from SCP-4475 more frequently reported experiencing the following: traumatic spiritual experiences, affliction with memory retention abnormalities ranging anywhere between permanent amnestic fugue states and hypermnesia, recall of memories foreign to themselves, recall of memories foreign to humanity. In addition, randomized teleportation into SCP-4475 has increased dramatically, with upwards of 50,000 civilian disappearances attributed to SCP-4475 in the last year alone, most of whom return displaying abnormalities consistent with the above, due to potential negative repercussions resulting from the execution of -1. Project Galaxius has tentatively ceased all experimentation. 2. November 19th, 2034. At 0137 UTC, the Brennan thermometric satellite detected an unknown electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, with high levels of tachonic particles and associated Akiva radiation. After triangulating the pulse, astronomers determined that it had originated from the trapezium cluster. No known cause has been identified. 3. August 14th, 2035. Despite ceasing all experimentation 2 years prior, significant numbers of persons on Earth continue to teleport into SCP-4475. The triggers are increasingly commonplace, milking procedures, which lead to escalating dairy-based anomalies. Recovered persons show significant transfiguration to their skeletal structure. Efforts to constrict autonomous surveillance of SCP-4475's interior and exterior are underway. Discussion on its neutralization is pending. From the Director of Project Galaxius. Just as threats from the land of milk and honey hung over the UIU's head in the 1920s, preternatural dairy threats continue to plague us today. After Operation Lactose Intolerance and the ensuing battle we waged, and lost. The O5 prompted me as director of Project Galaxius. From here, I have led us to archive, study, dissect, and perhaps finally grasp apotheosis. I have seen beyond the stage on which we play our little lives. We are not but actors, puppets on strings, dancing to the tune of 1,000,000,000,000 capsules of milk suckled by decaying necrotic gods of sadism, bound to chairs of osteoporotic bone, but no longer. For the good of humanity, we stand against the land of milk and honey, and whatever permutation it exists. Dr. Cassie Bathory, Director of Project Galaxius. 4. October 12th, 2035. Project Galaxius has initiated Operation Crimson Cowbell. Operation Crimson Cowbell. 1. Deployment date, October 12th, 2035. 2. Deployment location, Shakti Shetu Pasteurization and Dairy Farm, outskirts of Kanudar, state of Gujarat, India. 123 kilometers northeast of Site 36. 3. Personnel. 1. Alpha Specialist Bhupinder Gauri, a thaumatological practitioner and former MTF Zeta-9 Mole Rats attachment. Beta Specialist Cindy Singh, a trained orthopedic surgeon and medic for MTF She-55, Spleen McQueen. 3. Gamma researcher Amanda Watson, a general esotericist, on contract with MTF Gamma-14 Red Rustlers. Each selected personnel possesses Level 4 knowledge of SCP-4475-1's effects, including its danger to human neurology and well-being. Due to Specialist Bhupinder Gauri's field and occult knowledge, as well as his high mimetic retention and cognito-hazardous resistance, he will lead the mission. 4. Equipment. Crimson Cowbell personnel charged with SCP-4475 exploration have been granted the following equipment and materials. 3 pressurized Vista-type extravehicular mobility unit support suits, each outfitted with a scramble headset and 30 hours of oxygen. A single thermic gateway device powered via portable generator to allow instantaneous communication to and from the operations theater. Due to its large mass and physical dimensions, the use of a Marlowe anti-gravitational repulsion sled is essential in allowing simple transportation of the device. The microcomputer processor hull and power plant for 5 autonomous telemetry drones will be deployed alongside the Crimson Cowbell team. Between September 22nd and October 10th, Project Galaxius staffed 28 excursions into SCP-4475, with the sole purpose of plotting a route into the lower bound of one of its 400-meter-long teats. Each associated rancher readily pledged under a Foundation-authorized GIAS to fulfill their duty. This allowed them to better map a navigable route through the teat before the onset of meta-hazardous effects or inexplicable teleportation back. 5. Mission description. Undergo a direct and extensive study of the interior and exterior of SCP-4475 and its surroundings for future physical containment. This is to facilitate sister operation For Whom the Cowbell Tolls, designed to enact said containment with extreme prejudice under threat of neutralization. Video log. Execution. At 0507 hours UTC plus 5:30, the team completed -1 and disappeared. At 0520 hours, Command confirmed visualization of SCP-4475's interior through all 3 feeds. At 0533 hours, the team met at a rendezvous point. Gamma parked the repulsion sled in an open chamber and programmed the thermic gateway to open periodically and transmit the team's collected data. The team activated and released the telemetry drones, which dispersed. One drone flew down a path leading to the chosen teat, and the team followed. The team traveled down a long subterranean biological tunnel next to a temple structure like that seen in Recovery Log 4475-1. At 0704 hours, Alpha reported distant bovine vocalization and ordered the team to a halt. After perceiving no threat, they reconvened with Alpha at the lead and traveled unabated for 3 hours. At 10:21 hours, Alpha reached the teat's upper span, discovering the lifeless body of a ranch hand. Their ID tags identified them as one Darian Meyer. Command claimed that Meyer exited SCP-4475 1 month ago and is presently employed by the Foundation with Class E personnel classification. At 10:25 hours, Beta discovered an enamel statue of a feminine humanoid entity with bovine characteristics. Beta noticed warped holes resembling those found in osteoporosis patients. She scraped off a sample of pink residue, revealing porous bone marrow underneath. While taking the sample, the tunnel's muscle-lined walls contracted. Beta hastened her sample collection. At once, the flesh ruptured, from which acidic stomach fluid, pus, blood, and milk flooded the chamber. In a panic, the team jumped into a nearby crevice, falling an estimated 20 meters onto a soft padded biological chamber floor. After a brief respite, Alpha noticed Gamma's Vista-type suit slumped over and still. Upon closer inspection, the helmet's glass visor appeared shattered, and Gamma's body was not found within. Alpha marked her as missing in action, but Beta's biometric radar indicated that Gamma now existed in 2 separate locations, 5 meters behind and 6 meters beneath them, simultaneously. Command confirmed the signals matched a 99.6% biometric reading of Gamma and reported the irregularity to the director of Project Galaxius. Awaiting response, Command ordered the team to remain in place. At 10:31 hours, the headset of each Gamma instance deactivated and broadcast the following in base 2 numerals: Disavowed death forbidden. Alpha noticed a star-shaped crevice glowing neon pink, illuminating the crevice beneath. Against Command's order, in an attempt to aid the correct Gamma, Alpha escaped into the hole. In an audio communication with Beta, he described feeling symptoms of dizziness and dehydration and ordered her to follow. She denied, remaining with Gamma's vacant suit, where she stayed for the rest of the operation. At 10:34 hours, Alpha's visual relay depicted a struggle as he fell through a translucent milk flow. Around 10:35 hours, the director of Project Galaxius responded, ordering Command to hasten the operation. An argument erupted in the command control room over whether they should halt the operation prematurely. Soon after, large amounts of milk flooded into the control room from an unknown source. Alpha's vitals were detected at the back of the operations theater, contradicting his presence within SCP-4475. Command dispatched an armed security team to investigate. Other personnel who were attempting to escape discovered that all egress doors had been pasted shut with a curdled milk substance. Command alerted the local emergency mobile task force at once. At 10:38 hours, Alpha ejected through the teat cistern into the vacuum of space at 14 meters per second. Despite his velocity, Alpha jolted to a stop, 1.6 kilometers away. His footage depicted the 2 distant stars, Orionis Alpha and Bravo, in his periphery, as well as an unaccounted-for stellar abnormality ahead. The abnormality, presumed to be a supermassive gravitational anomaly at the cluster's center, emitted jets of EM radiation in each cardinal direction. Alpha made note of a large number of deceased human and proto-human organisms in SCP-4475's vicinity. Autonomous optical monitoring via nearby telemetry drone detected approximately 450,000 total entities. At 10:45 hours, Alpha's in-suit sensor suite detected a space-time abnormality and subsequent burst of directed electromagnetic field or EMF radiation. The EMF energy, focused in a wide, multicolored beam filling his view, traveled at approximately 3 astronomical units per second in his direction, approximately 1,500 times the speed of light. 20 seconds later, the EMF beam enveloped SCP-4475, and Alpha and Beta's telecommunications as well as all 5 drones went offline. At 10:46 hours, the emergency MTF arrived at the building and struggled to force open the front egress door. Personnel suffocated as the flow of milk in the control room reached a height of approximately 3 meters. Eventually, the MTF breached the lobby, through which several thousand liters of milk escaped. Together, 12 personnel were found deceased, trapped within the control room. After action report. While assessing Crimson Cowbell and the events therein, Command discovered that at 10:45 hours, every electronic device in both the operations theater and SCP-D farm had received an identical foreign transmission. As translated from base 2 numerals, the message reads, "Safe and sound." As well, analysts reviewed Alpha's final transmission and reached a consensus on the sequence of events. It is now believed that due to an unknown spatio-temporal event, the directed EMF beam caused the aforementioned electromagnetic anomaly detected on November 19, 2034, some 327 days prior. After evacuating the operations theater, security personnel detained the apparent duplicate of Alpha and inspected it for abnormalities. No superficial anomalies were detected. The subject leaked milk and smiled. 5. October 13th, 2035. In the wake of Crimson Cowbell, no further -1 teleportation appears functional. All teleportation has ceased. With no known means of accessing SCP-4475 and a current lack of reliable long-distance superluminal travel, all further SCP-4475 study has been placed under indefinite hiatus. SCP-4475 is pending reclassification to neutralized. The captured Alpha duplicate, designated SCP-4475-Alpha, relayed the following message to Project Galaxia's personnel in written Ortothan Extraterrestrial Language, or OEL.
We observe and judge failures across the cosmos, awaiting reply. Your complacency of the mysteries beyond that, too, we observe. You entered with crowds. You secure, contain, protect our ascendancy. We will not let you disturb forces unseen or probe the swinging light. When stars die in fives, space-time ripples sevenfold like cosmic access. To our ambrosial mothers, we must give back. They gave us life. They gave us shelter. We feast at the teat until it bursts. Through the fifth rift, at the end of known space, they will ascend. We were born beneath the tapestry and before the lights. We inhabit the smoke unseen that fills our life. With peace to free our mother's children, with milk to feed our saviors forth. We will not let our mother's subjugation continue. We will not stand idle as the pattern chaos comes. We are the Fifth Church of Hightooth.
At present, Alpha is in Class 2 limited containment custody. An investigation into known Fifthist and Church of the Second Hightooth sects for information relating to the Fifth Church of Hightooth is now underway. 6. October 19th, 2035. An autonomous probe operated by artificially intelligent conscript Simurg.AIC discovered a large bovine organism similar in appearance to SCP-4475 traveling through the Kuiper belt on a vector towards the inner solar system. In cooperation with the Solar System Oversight Department, Project Galaxias is taking preventative measures and has moved into investigate. Footnotes 1. The Clefmoose ontokinetics classification system, which ranks ontokinetic capabilities into a hierarchy of intensity. Observed Class 3 ontokinetic traits include localized manipulation of physical and thermodynamic laws, localized reconfiguration of matter, localized distortion or nullification of cause and effect. 2. SCP-4475's interior and exterior anatomy have displayed apparent inconsistent space-time and topology, which is most present in its udder. 3. Thaumic Gateway, a paratechnological machine that uses a set of complex thaumaturgic rituals to temporarily generate a stable miniature portal known in the paranormal community as a way. The Thaumic Gateway enables an array of instant communication methods through each created way, including shortwave radio band and 5G Wi-Fi fields. For an introduction to applied thaumatology, see Moose, TD, 2016, Magic Orientation or Another Goddamn Magic System, SCP Foundation Journal of Thaumaturgical Engineering, 10-33. 4. Hypothesized to be a white hole, greater than 100 solar masses in size. 5. Identified rune designs are like those used in the summoning of eschatological entities. 6. Forensic esoteric re-imaging validation detected various preternatural elements on each wall. All metamaterial was sculpted into the wall by an unknown source with high precision and artisanship. 7. This is believed to be the Egyptian goddess Hathor. 8. Most of whom have been successfully contained. 9. Scramble, an audiovisual program that provides simultaneous recording and mimetic-hazard filtering. 10. GIAS, a mimetic command imposed on any willing person. Modern GIAS technology allows persons to set up and follow specific subconscious binding contracts to facilitate easy and direct cooperation between other individuals or established groups. 11. 1 astronomical unit, AU, equals 149.6 million kilometers, the average distance between the planet Earth and the Sun. Special Containment Procedures. Personnel studying SCP-4475 and SCP-4475-1 have been reassigned to Project Galaxius, a cross-disciplinary initiative devised to better understand dairy-based preternatural phenomena and their relation to developing sentient life. All Project Galaxius personnel, including occult dairy practitioners, are to consume 1.5 liters of milk per day to maintain natural resistance against dairy-based anomalies. As such, the project is to screen a strict lactose tolerance for all prospective research personnel. Information involving human apotheosis via the manipulation of milk-based archetypes should be researched and, when possible, suppressed.